Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the grand finals here. Let's get out and finalists of the WardiTV Monday number 58. We just covered herO versus MaxPax, the semifinals, and that leads into the grand finals here between our top two players. When it came to the upper semis, ByuN, he was able to bring down Nickrat. It was ByuN versus Nickrat in the upper semifinals, led into this grand finals here. The specified between herO and ByuN. These two have been facing off quite a bit, and ByuN has been flexing his unique style of TVP as of late. I'm still thinking about the PTSD match between herO and ByuN. The game on Mothership, it was like an hour-long game of ByuN just never attacking. It was brutal. That was brutal. But I will say that he has been a little bit more assertive, a little bit more aggressive since then. We'll get into it though. We'll get into it as we jump into game one, as we load into Title Citadel. Let's go. Let's go. Loading into one of the new TLMC 21 maps. Thankfully for ByuN, there is no Mothership in this map pool, in this tournament map pool. No Mothership, but here we go, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Title Citadel. We have the South Korean Terran player, we have the Red Terran representing Shopify. It is a ByuN. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Protoss player, we have the Blue Protoss. For T1, it is a herO. Go. And getting into the CUP, talking a little bit about ByuN's style. We've been talking about this quite a bit. If you've been watching ByuN in recent months, then you'd be familiar. Basically, ever since the start of the year, ByuN has been very defensive and very passive in TVP. He has stopped going for these more aggressive timings and aggressive builds. He is the least aggressive Terran player in TVP in the world, I would say, compared to like Bunny, Cure, Clem, Maru, Ryung, Gumiho, compared to all the other top Terran players. ByuN, he's very often going for the mid game and going for the late game. It's very rare to see him all in. I'm not saying he never goes for all ins. I'm not saying that. He does mix it in every now and then, just less than the others, right? Less than the other top Terran players. So he's very often in this matchup at least going for a more macro-oriented game state. First things first though, it is double gas opener, faster factory. This is a more tech-heavy start at a ByuN. This can lead into early Reactor Reaper Hellion aggression. This can lead into early Cyclone production, committed Widowmine drops, and can even lead into eventually faster Cloak Banshees. So we'll keep an eye on ByuN to see how he does turn out. Welcome to Title Citadel. This is a very large map of the map, large map, longer rush distance by ground, and pretty well defendable on 3 bases. The 4th base is a little bit more spread out, is a little bit more vulnerable here. When it comes to your 4th base options, you have the center 4th base on the low ground, which is more exposed. You have the base on the right hand side, which is also much more open as well with multiple attack paths. And you have the base on the left hand side, which does have a narrow attack path, but is on the low ground, and it can be abused by this open area here that you can open up by knocking down these rocks. So you can try to rotate now, position the defending player. Because this map is difficult to defend and turtle up on 4 bases, I would want to see something more aggressive out of ByuN on 2 bases here. Just because talking about ByuN and just referencing his style of being more defensive and being more turtle heavy and getting into a longer later game and maxing out, I feel like it is going to be difficult to do that here on Title Citadel. Oh boy. Meanwhile, Twilight Council open out of herO. Does go for the Twilight Council. We do see a faster add-on setup here from ByuN. Interesting. So Reaper moves out across the map. We do have a Reactor Marine production, not Reactor Reaper. Doesn't go for the add-on swap, opening up with the early Cyclone. Okay. So no Reaper Hellion. Does go early Cyclone. With this, he will shut this down, but his CC is delayed. So the downside of going for low ground CC is this kind of position here is for a delayed expansion. Boys are being pulled. And ByuN will defend, but I mean, he's going to be losing SCVs. Yeah, one SCV goes down, Adept shades into the main. Can he get another SCV? Oh, I mean, he's denying mining. He's denying mining regardless. Gets one Marine. One Marine left. Autobas. Ooh, Cyclone does defend though. Cyclone defends, and finally the natural base is going to get back up and running, but this is a big delay here for ByuN, and behind this herO building up to Blink. Building up. That is an earlier tank out of ByuN. Okay. Now, with early tank production, my assumption here is for an earlier tank push. We could even see a starport into medevac into early drop play as well. This does look like something more assertive here by ByuN, or at least it should be. Emphasis on should. And again, as I mentioned before, I do want to see more aggression out of ByuN, specifically on Title Citadel. It's going to be difficult to be more macro-oriented here. There are other maps where it would be easier, it'd be better on, like Tokamak, for example, even Maganatha. I would think it'd be easier on Maganatha than on Title to defend. Oh. Okay, so he goes for the early tank to secure his natural into add-on swap into earlier Cloak Banshee. Okay. My assumption was that he was going to be making a second tank and getting to a medevac or a Viking. That's not the case. So he's going for harass. Behind this hero, getting his third base up and running. Getting into blink. So the game will continue. We're building up from here. Now, crucial to note is that here he does go 2-gate blink into a robo into a third base. This is quite a economic and quite a greedy build here, delaying his third gateway, but he does at least get the robo and he has detection. This is one of the reasons why it is less common to see Cloak Banshees nowadays, and it's more common to see Speed Banshees, because it is very common for Protoss players to go for the faster robo to be safe to get detection. So detection is available for the Banshee. Despite that, we'll see if ByuN can find some damage. So ByuN is moving out. We see the Observer with the main army. Not in the bases. Not in the middle line. Stalkers move out. Banshee moves in. Oh. We're getting there. Again, eyes are on the Banshee. This Banshee does make its way into the main. We'll find some damage here. Again, Stalker's out of position. Probe's going to be going down. They're getting 1, 2, up to 3 probes already. Not bad. We'll barely get 4. 4 probes gets 5. Yeah, nice target firing here. 5, 6 probes going down. The Banshee will be deflected, but so far, this is worth it. Again, 6 probe kills so far, and there's a second Banshee. Headed towards a third. And again here, he had the tools to defend, but he was out of position. As he will lose 2 more workers, 3 more probes. Banshee stays back. Here he has to keep supply back at home to defend. He wanted to be aggressive, but alas, the aggression has been stifled. And ByuN's building up. He's building up back at home. Stim, combat shields. As here is being kept busy. ByuN is looking comfortable. And from here, ByuN will have the option to throw down extra Raxes or a third CC. Of course, here he has eyes on the move out. Spots the army. Does spot the main army. There's a third CC, so ByuN, he's not going for an all-in. As he moves out, so the Prism moves in. But there are defenses back at home. Nice positioning here from ByuN. Yeah, very nice positioning. But ByuN, he is delayed. Spots the Observer. Now, upon seeing the third command center, here he knows the so yeah, he just expands. 4th base on the way. Here he's warping in. He's of course respecting this army, but he knows it's not too committed. And behind this, working towards Colossus. So the Colossi are coming. Here he does spot the move out. Here is aware. He's getting ready. I mean, 3 tanks. If ByuN can get within range, he can shut down that 4th. But here he does engage. Does force a siege. Yeah, 1 tank is going to go down. Zell take left turn from the left hand side. Sorry, from the right. Yeah, he gets 1, 2, all 3 tanks go down, and here he shuts down this army. He shuts down ByuN. And here he keeps and he maintains his 4th base. So far so good. So I'll say move in to delay the third. Let's spot the CC. And ByuN can be able to deal with this. ByuN now trades. And we'll get his third. Now, as we're slowing the game down, as we're entering the mid game, I'm going to kind of re-emphasize what I mentioned earlier. I will say that your 3-base setup here is relatively secure, right? You have the high ground advantage, you have choke points moving into it, so you have the advantage attacking an aggressing army. That is true, but once again, it's the 4th base that really concerns me. Sensor towers on the way. If ByuN's plan here is to turtle, it feels like it's going to be more difficult. Now, to be fair, we haven't seen many games on Tidal Citadel because it is a TLMC21 map, so the amount of data that we have on this map is more is limited, I should emphasize. But it does feel to be the case that it's going to be a harder map to mass expand on, to get a 4th, to get a 5th base. As hero's claiming the gold. Right, also I should mention that what I'm saying is more regarding to the Terran player, just because the Protoss has map control. Like, hero can freely expand. Like, he's getting his 4th base, he's getting his 5th base, he's rushing into a gold. Hero's gonna have a massive economic lead. Because he has map control, he can apply pressure, and he can be the one to ensure that ByuN cannot expand. And 4th CC. So ByuN, he is going to turtle up and slow things down. This is why we brought this up at the start of the series, is that ByuN, this is kind of his go-to. Like, ByuN's go-to is to throw down sensor towers, turrets, depots, bunkers, and turtle up. Specifically in this matchup. I should also emphasize, this is not reflective of how he approaches TvT or TvZ. He's much more aggressive in those matchups. Much more. But if you've been watching ByuN this year in 2025, like, this is the norm. For ByuN. So from here, the goal should be to max out. For ByuN to max out on his Ghost Viking Liberator composition. 2nd starport is on the way, so we're working towards eventually a fusion core into Liberator range, into Liberators as well, to perfect his army. Then he can start being aggressive. As hero's going into Dark Templar, interesting. Or we get 5 DTs back at home. Shadow Stride is on the way for the Dark Templar as well. There's a +1 ship weapons. And here comes the 4th, get scouted. Hero knows. Now with ByuN taking this 4th base, this should trigger hero to be more aggressive. Oh, as the first one goes down. Barely, not actually. Prism barely gets away, but shouldn't get much done. Harasses in the main base, goes for a warp in, but there are units to defend. Still gets a couple of SCVs. Oh. Some Dark Templar as well. Here comes the main army. As we mentioned, the goal is to deny the 4th. Here's here. Nice EMPs. EMPs are weighing the army. Colossus moving in. There are plenty of Vikings, though. They get 1, and there's 1 Colossus left, and it's also going to go down. Takes down the Colossi, DT's a blink on the army, and here he kills the Planetary. Kills the Planetary, comes in from behind. Remember, he has the gold base, he has excess minerals. Here he has 1,700 minerals, Patties. How many gateways is he on? 14. He can do with more. He can do with more, but here come the reinforcements. Here he's going for the kill. GG gets cold, and hero takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Hi, bro, from Costa Rica. Thanks for the cast. Oh, gracias, Pab, gracias. Bienvenidos, bienvenidos de Costa Rica. But GG, well played. Hero does take the game. But again, this map does favor the Protoss, I feel. Like, this is a very difficult map for the Terran player to play this style and to build up on 4 bases, and that is ByuN's go-to, so it's a very difficult map to pull that off on. As you saw, Hero just had to be patient, wait for ByuN to expand, wait for ByuN to expose himself, and then once he's exposed, then Hero can go for the kill, go for the 4th base, and end it from there. GG. GG, well played. But I should emphasize that this style of play here from ByuN is going to be stronger depending on the map as well. And we're loading into another, I would say, in a sense, more defendable map. We'll get into it. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing T1. It is herO. Here we go. How have herO managed to win a fight near a planetary like that? As we try to emphasize, specifically on Taito Citadel, specifically on that map, the bases are more spread out. The rotations, the defensive rotations, take longer. If you remember, ByuN, he did not fight with his entire army. Part of his army was defending in the main base and was distracted by the Warp Prism because the Warp Prism got in and did finish a Warp in the main. On top of that, herO had the economic advantage because of the goal base, and herO had the larger army supply because of the goal base as well. Remember, there was a goal base on top of that. So that's why Taito Citadel does favor Protoss more, because once they gain map control, they gain a massive economic lead, which leads into a massive army supply lead as well. So better economy, larger army, ByuN being out of position, ByuN fighting with only a portion of his army as well. Like, there's a lot of factors there that led into a very strong fight at the planetary, at the 4th base for herO. There's like a lot that was favoring herO there. But speaking of maps, speaking of 10,000 feet, welcome to 10,000 feet. 10,000 feet is one of the more aggressive maps in the map pool. In saying that, I will say that your initial 3-base setup here is much more secure. They're much more close together, especially with the 4th base as well. The 4th base option is a little bit more awkward. You have the center 4th base, which can be attacked from the other side of the ravine. So with tanks, with siege units, with Colossus as well, you can shell away at the mineral line. You can storm the mineral line as well from the other side. You can set up tanks and you can hit the base. So that does make the center base more difficult to hold on to. If we go to the linear 4th base instead, here it's a little bit more secure. There are multiple angles of attack, that is true, but for the most part we have seen Terran players successfully use SimCity to wall up, wall off, and turtle up on 4 bases. On a 4-base setup, I will say that this map, it should be easier for ByuN to turtle up on 4 bases than on Taito Citadel. On top of that, unlike Taito Citadel, there's no gold, right? There's no gold expansion. So once herO gains map control, if he gains map control, he won't have the advantage of that gold base. Typically, maps with gold bases favor the Protoss because they will take it, right? They will take it. It will give them a massive economic lead for their zealot, for their mineral income, for their zealot warp-ins. That's not applicable here. But like, maps do impact like how games play out quite a bit. I should also emphasize as well that it's not as impactful as Brood War. Like Brood War, like maps, they're even more impactful just because how high ground works and how terrain works, right? Like the missed chance in Brood War is huge, and it does make defensive play, or it does make ramps and obscured vision areas even more powerful. Likewise, they're a little bit more diverse when it comes to what they add to their maps. When it comes to like disruption webs, or when it comes to neutral buildings, like they're a little more carefree with their maps, and because of that, the maps are even more impactful than in SC2. But that doesn't mean that, like, you know, there aren't certain styles that are favored in SC2 depending on what map you do it to, depending on what map you have. For now, would you see ByuN going? I believe it was a Rax. Oh, I believe it was Rax expand, but CC on the high ground. Could be mistaken though that it was double gas. Looks like the same opener. Yeah, that's right. Was the same opener 2 games in a row. Just CC on the high ground this time, so this time there was no delay. Remember, last game ByuN went for the command center on the low ground, and there was a massive delay with the Adept harass, with the Zealot harass. That is not the case here in game 2. So a cleaner start out of ByuN going for his early drop. So medevac drop across the map. Last game ByuN also went into Cloak Banshee. I will say the Banshees, they did a decent amount of damage, but this time no Banshees in sight. And he does avoid those Stalkers. Does avoid the Stalkers, was able to unload. With that, ooh, 1 Stalker goes down. Yeah, gets 1. But will lose the Cyclone. Overall, this is a better defense for herO. He does trade, but again, the Cyclones, I mean, they're quite costly units this early on. Tells me that ByuN is going to be that much more vulnerable back at home. But now we're setting up. Bunkers on the way. Tank production has begun as well. ByuN securing himself on 2 bases. And herO will rush into his 3rd. So herO going for the triangular 3rd base. Oh, you have my attention. herO going into faster Colossus production this time. This is a Bay before charge. Last game, we went for charge, went for gateways, went for the forge first into delayed Colossus. Now, the rationale for this is because of the map itself. Remember we spoke about this? Tidal Citadel is a larger map, or was a larger map of the map pool, longer rush distance from my ground. You have more room to kind of be more greedy. Here, on 10,000 feet, this is a safer style out of herO, as you'll have earlier Colossus against an earlier push. I say safer style, it's a more tech-heavy start. Maybe that's a better way of putting it. A little bit more tech-heavy. It means that herO, I mean, he would be vulnerable to a push at the moment. He's staying only on 3 gateways. But ByuN, it looks like he won't be moving out soon. He's still waiting for his upgrades. Stim, +1. ByuN is chilling back at home. We'll see if ByuN goes into a 3rd CC from here. He has the option to. Here he is cutting corners, being a little bit more tech heavy. And we'll see how ByuN decides to approach this time. There's a 3rd CC. So building up into a 3rd base. I would imagine he'll go for the triangular 3rd base as well. I would imagine. Again, the 3-base setup is relatively secure, at least initially. I should also mention as well, one of the big features of this map is the massive tumors. The tumors, they do expire at around 8 minutes, so bear that in mind. They do, I mean, you can see here, like they're slowly expiring over time. They're running out of HP. These tumors will eventually go down, and they open up the map quite significantly. So the map does open up. herO claiming his 4th base. herO, he didn't even see the 3rd CC. He's just assuming that we have a more economic build here out of ByuN. Hey, it's ByuN, so good assumption. Oh, this is greedy though. Stargate? So it gets a 4th base, goes into a Stargate. This Stargate, in my mind here, means faster fleet beacon, means faster mothership. So this is quite greedy here from herO. We'll see if he gets away with it. ByuN goes for his first move out. He expands behind this. The observer does split the move out as well. herO knows. Here he's aware. Auto tower harass into the main. herO should be responding here to the army as ByuN actually does pull back. Observer does confirm. Here come the warpins. Here he rotates towards the left hand side. He needs to see if ByuN is pushing. So that gets 1 SCV. Here is in position. So he has the observer on the right, he has stalkers on the left, and he will see any kind of move out. And yeah, here it comes. +1 air attack, fleet beacon, Stargate. This is very classic-esque. Classic, he's the kind of player that does love to do this, which is whenever the game slows down in such a way, Classic will rush into Sky Toss. herO pulling a bit of a Classic, doing the same thing. This is greedy, but if ByuN is passive, if he's defensive, if he's going to stay at home, then may as well be tech-heavy like this. May as well be greedy. And Tempest would be so strong in this kind of setup because of this map, right? Because of this expansion. We spoke about it, but tanks can abuse this, Storm can abuse this, Colossus can abuse this, Tempest also can abuse this position. As ByuN to take that forward base. Oh, okay, going into Carrier. Carriers, they're not as efficient as Tempest, but they are more aggressive. So this, in my mind, reads as herO wanting to hit a timing and wanting to kill ByuN and not drag the game out. This is risky, of course. Again, as we mentioned, like carriers, they're less efficient. but okay. Bold move. I think the forward third really favors Terran here with siege tanks, then taking the fourth base is so much easier. I agree against a ground-based composition. That's why I was trying to emphasize that rushing into, I mean, my rationale, my theory was rushing into Tempest would be even better on this map to punish this expansion. As we can see though, it's not going to be Tempest, it's going to be Carrier instead, which I'll be honest, I feel like is going to be less effective. ByuN is already building up Vikings, he's already getting a second starport. It is standard to get up to 2 if not 3 starports, going to Viking, going to Liberator, it coming in towards the mid to late game. So I'm not too convinced, but we'll see what herO can get done with Mass Carrier, as he's intentionally hiding them, of course. Cool. Raven goes down. Zel's get a tank. Nicely done. Does catch a tank. herO throwing away supply. As ByuN, as he rotates towards the left, the Zel's moving on the right. This time ByuN is ready, and these Zel's are being thrown away. They're being thrown away. They do get on top of the tank though. Yeah, tank goes down. So that's a herO killing 2 tanks. I believe 0 tanks left. So this position is that much weaker. Again, we're hiding, we're building up that carrier count, and it's going to be one and done here. As we mentioned, like, this is going to be a very aggressive timing. This push, once herO reveals the carriers, like, it's meant to end the game. It's meant to end the game. Here they come. Here come the carriers. And ideally not give ByuN too much time to react. There are 8 Vikings so far. Viking count, I will say low. 8 Vikings, I mean, that's not that much. It's going to be on herO to focus him down. He's trying to. He gets 1. He gets 1. He gets 2 Vikings. Oh, just 1. And the others do back off. Instantly 4 Vikings are being built at once. Vikings are on the way. And so far, Marines, they try to rush in. There's so many Marauders and too many. Yeah, too many Marauders here. I say that one of the carriers, 2 carriers do fall. Can he focus down the Vikings? Can he focus them? Well, there's another carrier. Yeah, another carrier goes down. It's still quite close, and herO, he will lose the final 2 carriers. Sorry, he's down to 2 carriers. Barely comes out on top, just barely, but that was a messy fight. Very messy fight for herO. Only Marauder survived. There's like 2 Marines. I think behind this Mass Marine, Mass Viking, Mass Anti-Air. And ByuN held. ByuN held. He did lose the expansion, true. Did lose the base. But ByuN, he held on. And as I mentioned before, that was meant to kill. Like, that was meant to kill ByuN. The fact that it didn't, it concerns me. As carriers are quite expensive. They're a big resource dump. As we have 6 more carriers moving in. 2 more on the way, soon to be 8. I mean, the Viking count is still low, true. Viking count is still low. Only 2 Vikings. Marines are trickling in. The anti-air is not here. It's not here yet. Yeah, ByuN, he's being a little bit too cavalier. He's attacking too soon. The Marines are holding their own. Just barely. How many Vikings we have? Up to 6. He gets 1. No interceptors. As he barely gets 1 carrier. Does take down the expansion. Gets the base. herO, he's broke. And ByuN, he just has to survive. He has to survive a little bit longer. ByuN is almost there. Casito. He does him in. Simpson forward. Remember, there's 0 splash damage, no Colossus, no Storm. The carriers are trying to hold their own. Gets 1. There's 6 carriers left. Down to 5. 5 carriers remaining. Down to 4, down to 3. He's done it. Yeah, ByuN has done it. He has broken herO, has broken all the carriers. And again, I wasn't too, I mean, going mass carry like this, it's rare to work. GG gets called, and ByuN ties up the series 1-1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. I don't know what it is about herO, but he does things like this from time to time. Going for these mass carrier timings, it is very rare to work. As you mentioned, that first push, it has to end with that. Has to kill with that push. And unfortunately, with that push failing, I mean, that's game. That's game then and there. He was outscaled over time. Basically an all-in there from herO. He could have gone for the more efficient route, going into Tempest instead, going to Tempest, going to Storm. He chose instead to risk it with Carrier, and it's not easy to pull off. GG. GG, well played. With that, we have a back and forth. We're getting into game 3, loading into ley lines. Ooh, okay. Loading into ley lines here. There's a bit to get into when it comes to a longer and later game. We'll get there. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran representing Shopify, tying up the series 1-1. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing T1. It is herO. Oh, ByuN does move out with the SV, I believe, rallying into the base. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on the worker if he goes for the proxy or if he goes for the eBay block. And does hide here on the right-hand side. And here comes the proxy racks. Not just one, two. So 2 Racks Reaper, let's go. 2 Racks Reaper out of ByuN. He will commit, he will double down. Now, what I was about to say is that coming into ley lines, again, both game 1 and game 2, ByuN has gone for the late game, right? He's gone for a 3, then 4 base setup into like a more into maxing out. That is ByuN's style. That is his go-to. Coming into ley lines, we have seen some players have a hard time doing so. We have the center base that can be very exposed. Likewise, you spread yourselves a little bit more thin, a little bit more spread out. It can be difficult to maintain your fringe bases. So ByuN's like, you know what? On ley lines, it's not worth it. Let's go for the proxy. Let's go. Of course, the gas is taken back at home. herO, for the time being, is in the dark. He's unaware. It is not uncommon for herO not to probe scout. So without a probe scout, herO is in the dark. And herO is going to get caught with his pants down. Oh, as we're going proxy marauder. Okay, my apologies. Proxy marauder is on the way. And I am getting Katowice flashbacks. I'm getting from 2024. If you remember, herO versus Kjor in the quarterfinals. It was on Golden Aura. Kjor, he went proxy marauder like this. herO didn't scout. herO, he panicked in his response. If you remember, I think he got like a robo. Then sorry, he got a Twilight Council, canceled it, got a robo. Like he did a bunch of cancellations. Like he was like panicking. The trauma. He had a very, very shaky response to Kjor. And herO, he does not scout across the map. So 0 scouting out of herO. Sorry, I think it's a Kjor. 0 scouting out of herO. herO, he has no idea what's happening. As a result, no safety shield battery. Does go gate into Twilight Council. There's no second gateway. And I think ByuN should just break this. Yep, does force a cancel. There's no defending the natural. Again, the very late shield batteries, bunkers on the way. Boys are being pulled. And already so much damage being dealt here. But he needs more. Oh, barely doesn't get the Stalker. Nice control out of herO. Oh, he barely pulled out. Oh, he will lose the Stalker. herO, he'll lose 1. But he will defend the ramp. He defends the ramp. Shield battery is up. Here he's surviving, and ByuN, does he expand from here? Do we double down? What's the plan? We expand. He's floating back home. Marauders are here to contain, and ByuN should be getting a command center. Oh, factory into CC. Never mind. But ByuN, he's transitioning. Now the question becomes, does herO turn this into a 1 base all in? Station moves out, does scout the army. We'll see if herO gets a 3rd gateway. Zero, oh, my apologies. Here he did scout across the map. He did confirm the CC was on the way. He confirmed the high ground setup here from ByuN. So here he does find the abandoned proxy locations. And here expands. Okay, so we're going to build up in towards the mid game. We're going to try to macro out of this. We'll see what kind of damage here can get done here. And we'll see if Hero can contain ByuN and delay his own natural. So we have a bit of a back and forth. Hero moves out. With the help of the Immortal with a hallucination, he could try. There we go. There's a hallucinated Colossus. He can go for the depots. Gets one. Up. One sentry goes down. Nice pick up out of ByuN. Nice pick up. Scans for the Observer. Barely does get it. Nice scan. Oh, can he get the sentry? Oh, barely not. Sentry does survive. And now with the tank, yeah, ByuN holds. ByuN he holds. He's going away. I mean, Hero had no intention of pushing up the ramp. Just to contain, and ByuN has broken free from the contain. It's broken free. Hero has to get the hell out of there. And Hero double expands. Makes sense. Natural straight into the third base. Again, we got a lot of recovering to do from the side of Hero. Likewise, ByuN, he scans for another Observer. Both Observers go down. And nicely done here by ByuN. Getting to Sim, building up more tanks. Now, after the proxy, after the start of the game, I assumed that we were going to be having a shorter one here. Is ByuN going to slow things down? Ah, he's moving out. The Observer does spot the move out. ByuN is pushing. Here, he's somewhat aware. There's a scan. Getting the probe. The probe does hold. Hero trying to get in position. But again, here he barely has an army. Charge is almost done. He needs more zealots. He needs more warpins. So here he can't afford to lose his third. Not like this, not anymore. Yeah, shields is triggered. Massive tank shelter on the Stalker. Stalkers are going down. The first tank will fall, but there's still one tank left. And ByuN, he's breaking through. He's barely breaking that main army. But the Immortals defend. The Immortals, they barely do defend. Hero holds. Here he holds on. We have the Bay behind this. Forge is on the way for +1. Bay for Colossus. And he backs up with his main army. Followed by the Observer. Drop into the main. Oh! Observer gets caught once again. ByuN, he's crazy. That's the third Observer getting sniped. Nice drop into the main. Ooh, does he power everything? Delays +1. Tanks, they move back in. Hero's out of position. Yeah, he's out of position. The boys are being pulled. Probes are going to be going down. Massive losses for Hero. ByuN, he will get the expansion. Yeah, Nexus goes down. And Hero's being pulled apart. He's being pulled apart here. Oh, good. Another Immortal falls. And another. And that should be game. That should be game. Losing all three Immortals, losing the expansion, 11 probes, delayed upgrades. There's now so much in favor of ByuN. Just jump in. As hero's gonna try to hold. I mean, this is his army, all right? We got 1 Colossus. We got how many zealots? 5. Sorry, 7. We got 7 zealots. We got a Colossus. Let's go, baby. Let's go. ByuN could just dive on the Colossus as well. He can just stim in. Now playing it safe. Kites back to the Wooden Mines. Mines just going up. Zealots go down, and now he can step forward. Again, it's just like, we can do it, ByuN. I believe in you. Does pull away here. He defends it once again with the bare minimum. He's surviving. And ByuN plays it safe. He plays it safe, pulls away, tops up his army. This force definitely could have stemmed forward to kill the Colossus, but again, ByuN playing it safe. Didn't know what was behind it. Oh, no shot, we just back off and turtle up. No shot. Okay, we're moving on. Okay, spotted by the observer. Here he's built up to 2 Colossus. Second Colossus has arrived. Oh. ByuN thinks better of it. Waiting for his ghost, waiting for his EMPs. Once again, scans through the observer. That's the 4th scan. That's the 4th observer. Pulls away. What I will say is that ByuN, I mean, he's going to be the first to max out. And once he does, like, he should be more assertive here. Should be. Nice drop. Once again, gets into the mineral line. 6 more probe kills. Here, he's just going for it. Yeah, he's just committing. Massive EMPs. Covers the entire army. EMPs are brutal. Boys are being pulled. The army does clump against the Colossus. It's a lot of value out of the Colossi. But last, ByuN should still have too much. Yeah, snipes the first Colossus. Sims forward, getting on top of the second. And here he will lose everything. GG gets called. ByuN, he will take a 2-1 lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. ByuN, who will take the lead. Again, he had a very strong start here. ByuN, I mean, to be able to go for the proxy robo, to be able to deny to be able to force a cancellation on an almost complete natural base. Here had a really rough start. Likewise, here he tried to double expand in the aftermath and he lost the 3rd base. That should have been game then and there. ByuN, he had the potential to break the Colossus army, but again, he was a little bit more tentative, a little bit more defensive in his approach, or a little bit just safer in his approach. He backed off, but he still had a lead, still maintained the lead. GG. GG, well played. And here he is punished for not probe scouting. Again, he chose not to probe scout at all last game, was punished for it, and now we're getting to game number 4, and we'll see if ByuN can close it out. Let's go. As we're loading into White Rabbit. Okay, this is going to be an interesting one. Oh boy. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of White Rabbits, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Shopify, leading the series 2-1. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Blue Protoss representing T1. It is herO. Let's go. Let's welcome one and all to game number 4. Welcome to White Rabbits. White Rabbit aesthetically is really nice. As a map itself, I'm not too fond of it, I'll be honest. But this time, herO actually scouts. Remember, last game, 0 scouting out of herO, and he got punished. This time, immediately. He immediately moves out to confirm the Rax location. ByuN, he does actually go towards the left-hand side. He avoids the main scouting pattern, and I believe we're going for the eBay block. Rax is back at home. No proxy, but a block nonetheless. And we'll see if herO can get eyes on it and shut it down. Yep, he does. He immediately does pull the boy. eBay is spotted, probes are being pulled, and this eBay should be cancelled. So nice scouting, nice reaction here by herO. This time his early game is a much more on point, much more solid. And again, welcome to White Rabbits. White Rabbits, of course, is a reference to the Matrix, so that's why I mentioned that aesthetically it's quite nice, with the black and green, with the name itself. But the map itself is very large. It's a very large map, very macro-oriented as well. You have a much more secure natural third and fourth base. What I will say about the 4-base setup here is that your third and fourth base are a little bit spread out. They are further away, so rotations defensively are a little bit longer. Likewise, there's this wide ramp in between to try to rotate and try to catch an opponent off guard and try to punish a rotating army that's maybe out of position. That is true. At the same time, I will say that rotations, aggressive rotations from the opposing army is a little bit more difficult here. They have to knock down these rocks. Rocks have to be knocked down. The map has to be opened up. Without that, rotations do take a longer time, actually. Likewise, even the terrain here can be a little bit awkward. The terrain here also allows for like siege positions, and you can like encroach upon the opposing side. It's an interesting setup for sure. It is interesting. I'm curious to see how it plays when it comes to TLMC. I'm curious. For now, we do see ByuN setting up. Going to be a Twilight Council opener out of herO. And likewise, ByuN going for his own 1-1-1. And again, CC on the high ground will not be delayed, will not be disrupted. When it comes to the map itself, if ByuN were to try to get into a longer macro game, I do think that this map will still be favoring him more so than Title Citadel. Unlike that map, there's no goal bases, there's no like massive advantage here, or there's not as much of an advantage for gaining map control. As Reaper does go down, we do see 3-gate blink out of herO. Are we tempted to go for more than that? So far as 3 gateways. ByuN does take his natural, Robo is on the way. We'll see if it's just 3-gate blink into a third base or if herO plans on committing a little bit harder. So ByuN is fanning out. herO being very safe, getting a shield battery, staying on 3 gates, which means we should be working towards the expansion. He's getting an extra gas geyser. He could also get another gas geyser as well and work towards storm. I don't know if it's necessary to be this safe though, especially on a larger map like White Rabbit. On a smaller map, 100%. As ByuN does sneak out, he does move out with his first tank. Okay, never mind. He does pick up, does move out with our tank. Very committed here by ByuN. He does push. And here he's rotating from the main. The tank will attempt to siege. Going for the shield battery. Shield battery does fall. Boys are being pulled. Does get the medevac. And here he will clean this up. It takes down the medevac. The tanks. GG gets called. ByuN gets completely shut down here. And herO takes the game. GG. Ay, ay, ay. ByuN committing quite hard to that. Behind it, he was getting extra raxes, but for him to lose everything and for only to get a shield battery, that is brutal. That is brutal there. So ByuN, he was committed. I was getting ready for a long game. I'll be honest. I was like, okay, we're gonna settle in. We're gonna get a third base. We're gonna get a fourth. No. ByuN, he committed that much harder there, and yeah, he didn't get any damage he was hoping for. GG. I was being a little bit critical of herO. I was like, yo, are we playing too safe? Apparently not. I was like, Pappy, we can be a little bit greedier here. It's like, no, the safe play did work out very nicely there for herO. Was able to shut down any form of aggression, and ByuN happened to commit. We're going to the ace match. We're going to the ace match here. We are loading into Ruby Rock. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Ruby Rock, we do have the South Korean Terran. We have the Red Terran representing Shopify Rebellion being forced into the ace match. Hello, it is ByuN. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have as we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing T1. It is herO. And this is a very early move out of herO. He is going to be going in, and we spoke about this earlier. On ley lines, herO, he did not scout at all. He got punished. Here, herO, he's terrified. Like, these are really early scouts. He goes in, he disrupts the opener. He ensures that, hey, the racks better be at home. Okay, herO. Speaking of, the racks gets thrown down further back, and herO, he barely doesn't scout. Okay, the mind games here. ByuN going for the hidden racks further in the main. And herO, does he overreact? Oh. He wants the SCV. Pulls away. He will be able to confirm the lack of racks. Man, he's like, yo, where are you? ByuN's like, oh, you better get ready at home. You better get ready for the cheese. So I'm curious, that is herO's laughing. That's like the laughing, not emoji, but like the character. ByuN with the TT response. It's like GG, right? Checking the vision though, herO, he doesn't scout the racks, but he does scout the CC. Okay. So he scouts command center. The Reaper is about to reveal the Nami knows. Yeah, the Reaper's back at home, and now herO is fully aware that the Reaper was on his side of the map. herO himself does go for a bit of a delayed start. Made the Zealot. Did make the Zealot here. He's going to be moving out across the map, but he shouldn't really find too much damage here, and he's going for a Stargate before expansion. Okay, let's go. So delayed Nexus for herO. Faster Stargate, faster Oracle Harass, I would imagine. And there's going to be a lot of pressure on herO to get some damage done early on to make this worth it. So the pressure's on herO. Why did ByuN GG there? ByuN could have killed a lot of probes, and that would have been worth it, right? Oh, well, ByuN would not have killed it. He lost everything, man. He lost everything. ByuN was very committed to his early push. He was very committed, and he lost everything. He lost the tank, he lost the medevacs, he lost the cyclones. He was about to lose all the marines. It was a very dedicated move out, and it wasn't just that he would lose the army, but he would be vulnerable to a counterattack. Basically, ByuN, he traded too poorly. He traded too poorly with how committed he was, which meant that was game then and there. As the assumption was that herO would just counterattack immediately. So, and ByuN was that much more dedicated to it. I'm tentative to call what ByuN did last game an all-in. Like, technically it failed, so he lost, but it's more about just how poorly that fight went for him. As Oracle gets in, 3 SCVs. Gets 3 SCV kills. So nice damage so far. Meanwhile, ByuN commits into a triple with a mine drop. And likewise has been spotted. The Oracle can shut this down. Sorry, Oracle? Sorry, I meant to say Phoenix. And the Wood Mine drop is completely denied. Oh. Do we try to be cheeky? Can we kill the Phoenix? I don't think Getting low. Oh my god. Medevac barely gets away. Just barely. And with that, herO takes the third base. He claims his third base. Behind this, it was 3 gates. 3 gates into, sorry, 4 gateways into Blink. But again, this is kind of like a delayed 4-gate setup. There's no Robo. There's no detection. There's no Prism. There's no Robo production. But we're building up. I would imagine this is in reference to the lack of Widowmine drop. Well done. So just shade in. Getting a handful more SCVs. herO, he does move out, does contain. Remember, herO, he does have 4 gates behind this, so he has an excess of stalkers. Containing ByuN. And does blink in. A little bit bold here, going for Stim. They have 1 more volley. Stim barely does go down. Was that worth it though? That's a lot of dead stalkers. As herO barely does blink away. Does what? 4 stalkers going down, but this will contain ByuN. So ByuN is contained, a third CC gets thrown down, ByuN is building up towards a longer game state, and welcome on all to Ruby Rock. Ruby Rock, I would say, is a more aggressive map of the map pool. Defending on 3 bases is going to be more difficult. Oh no! Oh my god! Mine's just going off. 5 pro kills, very nice. 5 probes go down. herO otherwise distracted, a messy defense here out of herO. So we have a back and forth. herO, he contains ByuN, he delays his push, he does force out a third base. At the same time though, will take a lot of damage himself. Does take some worker kills, makes up for the otherwise Oracle harass that we've been seeing before. Widowmines are saved as well. But herO should shut this down. Oh! Boosting back over. Headed for the natural. Getting 1 more probe. Phoenix has arrived. Stalkers as well, but I would say that this drop has paid for itself. What, 5 in the main, 1 in the natural, 6 in total. I'll say successful Widowmine drop. As ByuN goes for another mine drop. Oh, okay. It is a little bit more uncommon to see mine drops this late in the game just because there's that much more anti-air for herO, but bold move. Here he dives in, he gets the tank. No, the tank goes down. Massive pickup. Takes down the tank, takes down the Cyclone. Here he has to back up. Does pull away. Pick up more Marines. Remember, Stim is not done. Oh god, these are vanilla Marines. They trade so poorly. Mine drop into the main base, and herO doesn't react this time. The answer is no. Oh, late reaction. Oh my god, 9 probe kills. Critical damage in the main. Rise avoids Widowmine in the natural, but this bio army is still being abused again. No Stim. Like, we need to emphasize, 0 upgrades. He has combat shields. That's all he has. And ByuN's main army is being bullied. The boys are being pulled, and this might just be too much. Zells, they break through the SCVs, getting some of the Marines. Stalkers, they can trade well against the bio. They blink. Down to 3 Marines. Down to 2. Oh my god. ByuN barely holding on. And even though he's been dealing some damage across the map, he just lost 11 SCVs and he lost most of his main army. And finally, Stim is at 9 minutes. 9 minutes Stim timing. Let's go. Oh god. And now he can fight. Now with Stim, now he can hold his own. Now he can fight against the Blink Stalkers. He finally has his upgrades. herO moving out once again. Ooh, and while herO distracts, Zealot run by. Yeah, ByuN's out of position. ByuN is out of position. You can see him being stimmed back and forth. He's being pulled apart. Stalkers, they go back in. They keep distracting. And Zell's staying to catch reinforcements. They get into the middle lines more, so he's going to be falling down. CC is denied. And ByuN is trying to keep up. Losing 5 SCVs. Does he lose the CC? Enough! One more volley. He gets it. Oh my god. Kills the third base. ByuN, he can't expand. Dusk goes here extra stalkers. Has a low stalkers falling, and ByuN at this point he may just be all in. What does ByuN have? ByuN, he has 1/1 upgrades, he has stim, combat shields, concussive shell. He's sending it. Yeah, the boys are being pulled. Boys are being pulled. He's completely all in. ByuN, he has no future in this game. He has to end it. Behind this Colossus. Ooh, Colossus is on the way. How many? One. There's going to be one Colossus to defend. Is one Colossus enough? Oh, brutal force fields. He looks down the army. Zealous collapse on the forces as well. The Colossus is safe. And he just melts the army. Just melts on through. SCVs are just annihilated. The force fields are brutal. And GG. GG gets called. herO, he will shut down the main army. He will claim the series 3-2 and become this week's WardiTV Monday champion. GG. Whew. GG, well played again. Force fields ensured that ByuN could only fight with half his army at a time. Likewise, the Colossus did pop out in time as well for some massive splash damage on the army as well. And again, ByuN, he was forced all in. It all just snowballed out of control from the initial denial of stim. Not just that, but also ByuN being a little bit too overly aggressive and overly eager. Winding it back here, when herO initially denied stim, it was a nice pickoff, that's true. But ByuN did something that he's known for. If you watch ByuN, especially in TVZ, he's known for these like ByuN pushes. What a ByuN push is pushing pre-stim. It's the idea of moving out. It's the idea of moving out with your army, and the idea of hitting your stim timing as the army gets across the map. As the army gets across the map to your opponent's bases. It is really risky to do, but it does mean that you can potentially catch out and catch your opponent that much faster and have a crisper timing with your stim. The downside, of course, is that as you're moving out across the map, you're exposed, right? Your army is vulnerable, your army is lackluster, and it can be abused in such a way. So he was pushing pre-stim. He was pushing when stim was halfway done, and he was punished for it, right? He was punished for it. He got caught out in the center. His tank went down, his cycle went down. He lost all his marines, and that led into him being bullied all the way back home, being forced to pull the boys, and losing all the momentum that he once had, right? Losing momentum, losing control, and that just snowballed out of control into eventually the win for herO. GG. GG, well played. And with that, congratulations here to herO, as it does claim the series is going to be this week's WardiTV Monday champion. Congratulations. Here we go. ByuN's army supply is worrying there. It was a big army. It was big. It's big. But with that, we are going to be wrapping up here for today's broadcast. Again, this was a catch-up stream. As I mentioned before, when it comes to our regular schedule, we usually cast this event live. But with daylight savings hitting the European time zone, it does mean that this starts very late in Australia. They used to start at like around 9 or 10 p.m. Now it's starting at midnight or like 11 p.m. So it's starting very late in Australia, to the point where I can't really cover it anymore. So we have stopped covering this live for the past 2 weeks, and we are going to be catching up via replays instead. So most likely, like a couple of days later, whether it's on Wednesday or Thursday, we will be having these WardiTV Monday catch-up streams, replay casts instead. That is the plan. We might be able to cover the Monday night weeklies live instead. We'll see how we adjust. But yeah, daylight savings in Europe is brutal. It's means it's much later for us, much later. So that is how we will adjust. Otherwise, thanks for watching. As you can see here, we've had a very busy schedule here, and this schedule has changed over the past couple of hours. So originally the plan was we were going to be covering the WardiTV Monday here this morning. We'll have this evening off, as we've been casting 2 events a day every single day this week, into KSL tomorrow, Sea Duckling Open, Picasso Cup, and then Tuna Cup on Sunday. That was the plan. as we're here on Friday. We're on Friday currently when it comes to our weekly schedule. But we were notified, we were contacted last night. We were contacted by the organizer of Stellarfest. Stellarfest is an event happening in Canada. It's an offline event happening in Canada, and apparently they need a stream. They need a B stream. They need a B stream for tomorrow's cast. We're like, okay. So we'll have to update the schedule. The current plan here is to be the B stream for tomorrow's Stellarfest, and most likely that means that we will not be able to cast KSL. The Korean StarCraft League, I don't think it clashes with the event, but it goes Stellarfest right into KSL. And sleep would be nice. Stellarfest is going to be like an 8-hour cast. It's going to be a big event. So the likelihood of me being able to cover both while being coherent and actually having a stable mind to cover KSL, I don't think it'd be a good cast. So most likely we're going to do KSL via replays later on next week. So next week we'll have a KSL replay cast, just because we're going to be covering Stellarfest tomorrow as the B stream. So we do have a bit of an adjustment. For those who are curious, Stellarfest, it begins at 5 a.m. here, so it's going to be very early. It begins at 1 p.m. I believe Canadian time. So 1 p.m. Canadian time, 5 a.m. here, and it'll be like probably like around an 8-hour cast. I'm still not entirely certain what the schedule is going to be like, just because it's all been last minute. But yeah, we'll step in. We'll cast some StarCraft. Let's go. We'll be okay. Last minute B stream. Gonna be a hell of a... Yeah. So I think we're gonna be skipping KSL tomorrow just because of that. But that'll be the plan. But otherwise, with that, we're gonna be wrapping up. With that, we are going to be wrapping up here for the time being. So thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. We do appreciate it, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for some Stellarfest. This evening I'm probably just going to try to sleep as much as I can, just because it's going to be very late cast for Stellarfest. So I'm going to try to sleep as much as possible to get ready for the weekend, to get ready for some more casting. But otherwise, thanks for watching. If you want to tune in, if you want to support us any further, you can do so by following us on YouTube, !socials in the chat, and we are live on a daily basis. We do upload on YouTube on a daily basis as well, so plenty of content over on YouTube. Otherwise, you can support us on Patreon, !Patreon in the chat as well. Our Patreon is designed to fund our tournaments on a regular basis. Every single week we do host open cups, and the Patreon does fund those open cups. So if you want to help us grow our tournaments, Patreon is the place to be. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Get some rest. I will. I'm gonna go get some breakfast, and then I'm gonna get some sleep. And we'll do our best tomorrow. We'll do our best. Hopefully we'll have some. We'll be well rested. Hopefully. Cat. Yes. Exactly. But otherwise, thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for some Stellarfest, for some Sea Duckling Open, for some more StarCraft. As always, take care, everyone. Take care. Again, there's a big offline event happening in Canada over the weekend. Whether we're going to be a part of it or not, especially for the final days, do check it out. It's going to be amazing. Going to be a lot of fun. Players like Lambo and Harstham have traveled to Canada to compete. I think Clem is there as well. There's like a couple of... And Zaun, right? It's like Clem, Zaun, Harstham, Lambo, Scarlet is there. True, Scarlet is there. Big event happening in Canada. Yeah, Clem and ByuN. Oh, true. ByuN also going to be there as well. And Trigger. All the boys. All the big boys will be there. But otherwise, we'll see you guys next time. Until then, ciao. Bye, ciao. See you tomorrow. Hasta luego.